you are a simp, you are a nice guy, you are broke, you are out of shape, you are unattractive. But if you stink, if you smell like must, if you smell like balls, she's not gonna wanna talk to you. No woman wants to talk to you if your teeth look like popcorn butter is all on. Because it makes no sense for you to be in shape, for you to be jacked, but you got crust under your eyes, you got boogers in your nose. None of that makes sense. All right, what's good with y'all boys, man? Back at y'all with another video. Now, in this video, we're gonna talk about 5 underrated hacks I use to boost my confidence. The first one is finding a unique gym split that works for me. So I follow a 4-day workout split. It's like an upper, lower split. If you want the specific split, just DM me on Instagram, the word workout or the word split. Just DM me something, let me know you want the split. I will send you the unique split that I follow every single day. But the importance of having a workout split is you need structure and you need a system when you were in the gym. This is one of the main things that held me back when I first started working out. Because I was just going to the gym, lifting the same weight week after week, wondering why I wasn't getting stronger, wondering why I wasn't building any muscle, right? Wondering why the weight on the scale was staying the same. But now I implement following the same split week after week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm doing the same exercises week after week, but the only difference is I'm implementing progressive overload. So on my main exercises, my main workouts, I'm focusing on either pushing more weight each week or pushing more reps each week. So let's say it's bench press, for example, right? I'll hit 225 for, let's say, 3 reps. The next week, I want to try to do 4 or 5 reps and so forth and so on. If I do 225 or 205 on squat and I hit that for 5 reps, the next week I want to be able to do that for 6 or 7 reps, right? So even if I'm keeping the weight the same, I'm pushing more reps. But if I increase the weight, then I can do like 3 to 4 reps, right? So either way it goes, you want to implement progressive overload because this is what's going to make sure that you are getting stronger week after week. And this boosted my confidence because implementing progressive overload is what allowed me to start getting stronger and push more weight. It's what allowed me to start looking in the mirror and see improvements in my physique. It's what allowed me to step on the scale and see the numbers go up. But another bonus is the nutrition aspect because you will always plateau if you don't have your nutrition dialed in. You have to make sure that you're eating enough calories, eating enough protein to fuel your muscles so they can grow back stronger. Because the biggest mistake I learned as well, or the biggest mistake I made as well, is thinking that just because you're going to the gym, that's when you're getting stronger. No, that's when you're tearing down the muscles, right? The muscles are breaking down as you're lifting the weight, especially if you're lifting newer weight, especially if you're lifting heavier weight, right? The muscles have to regrow back stronger to sustain that weight that you're lifting. But this is impossible if you're not fueling your body the proper way, right? So to maintain the weight that you at, you want to just multiply your body weight times 15, and that'll give you the amount of calories that you want to eat. But if you're trying to put on muscle, you need to be in a caloric surplus. So add 500 calories to whatever that maintenance calories is. And bare minimum, eat 200 grams of protein, right? They say like 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you 178, then you want to eat 178 grams of protein. Me personally, I'm about 170 myself right now, but I'm trying to push upwards of eating 200 grams of protein. Or because my ideal weight is 200 pounds. So I'm already trying to implement eating 200 grams of protein every single day. And my maintenance calories is like 2575. So I'm upgrading that by 500, eating 3,000 calories per day. And this is what's going to allow my muscles to grow back stronger as I'm implementing progressive overload. This is one of the fastest ways, not fastest, but this is one of the simplest ways to dial in your nutrition, to dial in your training by doing the same thing week after week. Stop trying to switch up your workout program every time you go in the gym. This is why you are losing progress. Because the number one thing that matters with your confidence is how you look, how you feel when you look at yourself in the mirror. So if you are lacking confidence, that's where you have to start. And it doesn't take much for you to start to build that confidence up, right? You can start to see your biceps getting bigger, your shoulders, your chest, your triceps, right? Your legs, any muscle group that you see improvements in that's going to build your confidence and make you want to keep going to the gym. But it's all about that discipline. It's all about how bad that you want it. But you have to make sure that the structure is dialed in. Because a year ago, I was going to the gym more. I was doing more in the gym. I was in the gym longer, but I was seeing less progress because I didn't have a proper system that I was following every single week. My nutrition was not dialed in. I was still just DoorDash and eating whatever I wanted to. But now that I have a dialed in system that I can follow week after week, Now I can see the results. Now I understand that I know that I'm doing what works. Number 2 is looks maxing. This is very important. Now this goes hand in hand with going to the gym. Looks maxing to me simply means that you're dialed in with a skincare routine. Morning and night, you are implementing a skincare routine. I use the T. Chanley skincare routine, right? You can look it up. It's like $30, $40 a month. You can get multiple different systems depending on where your skincare is at. But I recommend just using like the level 1 or level 2 system. It's very simple. You get like a face wash, you get a AM and PM moisturizer. I think the level 3 comes with like this eye cream, like if you got bags under your eyes, and it comes with a scrub. Very simple, bro. Use the scrub like once, twice a week. Wash your face morning and night. Use the AM and PM moisturizer. If you got the eye cream, use that after you put on the moisturizer. It's very simple, right? It's very simple. Everything about your confidence is really gonna come down to how you feel about yourself on the inside. But how you feel about yourself on the inside starts with how you look. So you have to be taking care of yourself. This is why number 1 was the fitness, the physique, right? Because it makes no sense for you to be in shape, for you to be jacked, but you got crust under your eyes. You know what I'm saying? You got boogers in your nose. None of that makes sense. Your breath stank. None of that makes sense. It all has to go hand in hand. So make sure that you are taking care of your skin. Like I never really had problems with my skin, but it went to a completely different level once I started implementing an actual skincare routine every single day, every single night. I don't care how you feel. I don't care how tired you are. You need to implement the skincare routine. The next thing is brushing your teeth, right? Make sure that your breath is on point. Brush your teeth. Go to the dentist, right? Use whitening strips. That's one thing I'm going to start implementing as well. Using whitening strips, right? Make sure that you're using mouthwash. Make sure you have mints or gum so your breath can always be on point. No woman wants to talk to you if your teeth look like popcorn butter is all on them. I'm going to just be straight up, right? Because that's all she going to be looking at. It's like, you wondering why she not looking at your eyes, or it's like, is she really looking at my eyes? No, she's looking at that butter on your teeth. Your breath stank when you talking to her, so she don't even want to look at you when you talking to her. But if you're taking care of yourself, if you're implementing these things, simple things that you should be doing. No grown man should not be brushing his teeth, should not be taking care of his teeth, should not be going to the dentist, should not be washing his face, especially if you are an athlete, right? Especially if you go to the gym, you work out where you be sweating. Even more, you need a skincare routine, right? So make sure that your breath is on point. Always like do a check in the mirror of just your face to make sure that everything is on point. Get the crust out of your eyes, right? Make sure ain't no boogers in your nose, because women, they gonna notice these things and it's gonna lower your confidence. When you look into the mirror and you don't like nothing that you see, it's going to always lower your confidence, bro. So you have to make sure that your looks maxing is on point. Another important thing is finding the haircut that fits you, right? So the haircut that fits me is 360 waves. Why? Because I have a decent hair texture to the point where my waves pop, and I'm willing to put in the work to make sure that I don't have mediocre waves, right? Like if I take my do-rag off, you will see me swimming, right? I've had waves for about 6-7 weeks, and they are phenomenal because I put in the work. It's not about the products, right? It's not about the type of brush that you have. It's about how much you are brushing your hair. It's about knowing your hair type. So I'm not going to get into a tangent about that, but you just have to figure out what hair type works for you. Yours might be braids. Yours might be dreads. I don't know. You may have a high top fade, right? You may have 2-strand twists. Whatever it is, find the hairstyle that works for you and make sure that you dial in on that. Don't try to do what somebody else doing just because you think that it's cool, right? Figure out what works for you. So for me, it was the 360 waves with the super low taper, right? You may have a beard. Make sure that your beard is on point. Make sure that your beard is lined up. Make sure that your facial hair is trimmed however you want to have it. Make sure that you find what works for you and you're dialing this in week after week, right? Get a haircut twice a week, edge twice a week. The only exception is if you are wolfing. And even if you're wolfing, you can still get edge ups. You can still get lineups. Like I'm finna wolf for at least 6 weeks, but I'm still finna get lineups. I'm still finna get tapers. I'm just finna be dialed in with my brushing. So it's no excuse, no matter what type of hairstyle that you got, you need to be making sure that you're getting a haircut twice a month, right? That's $100 a month. Put the money to the side so that you can invest in your look, so that you can invest in your self-care. This is very important. You don't want to step outside looking crazy, looking on any kind of way. You may see a girl that you're attracted to, and if you're not on point, I guarantee you're not going to make the approach. But if you know that every single box is checked as far as a physical standpoint, as far as an attraction standpoint, you're going to make the approach. You're going to have that confidence. You're going to feel good about yourself. It's a night and day difference when you step out the chair versus when you hopped in the chair, when you didn't have a haircut. right? It's a night and day difference when you look in the mirror and you skinny, you don't like what you see, versus when you look into the mirror and everything is on point. You ripped up, you got your six pack, your arm is hugging, right? All of that makes a difference. All of that matters because a woman, when she look at you, that's the first thing that she gonna notice: how you look, how your breath smell, what your teeth look like, if you take care of your skin or not. No woman wants to see that if anything is not on point. She don't want to talk to you. She don't want to be around you. And this gets into my next point. The final thing about looks, Max, and the icing on the cake is how you smell. If you are going to the gym, when you leave the gym, make sure that you take a freaking shower. Better yet, when you go to the gym, have some type of cologne on. Have some type of cologne on. You should have a unique scent, right? So when women walk past you, they smell you. It's like, oh, you smell good. Oh, what is that you got on? Easy segue into you being able to shoot your shot. But if you stink, if you smell like must, if you smell like balls, right? If you smell like you just got done playing 5-on-5, you just got done wrestling, she's not gonna want to talk to you. You don't have to break the bank for cologne, bro. Just find what you think smell good. Go out and try different colognes and buy them. You don't have to have this extravagant cologne collection, but every time you walk out the door, you should be smelling good. Right? I don't care if you're going to the grocery store. I don't care if you're going to the gas station. I don't care if you're going to the gym that's at your apartment. All you got to do is go downstairs or go down the elevator. Make sure that you are smelling good. But especially if you're going out into public places, you're going to work, right? You're going on a vacation, you're going on a trip, you're going out with your friends. Make sure that you are smelling good, bro. I may find like my top 3 colognes that I got right now, and I might put y'all boys on game. So if you see it in the video, that means I remember. But if not, just DM me. I'm telling you, I'm not gonna really gatekeep. I've never been somebody to really just gatekeep, bro. So if you wanna get put onto the stuff that I use, I will put you on. You just gotta ask me, right? Don't drop it in the comments because I'm probably not gonna tell you, but just DM me on Instagram and I will get you right. I'll tell you my workout split, right? I'll tell you my macros, right? I'll tell you what cologne I'm using, right? I'll tell you, give you some tips about 360 ways if you got ways. Just hit me up and I will put y'all boys on game. I'm not one to gatekeep, right? I wanna see y'all win. I wanna see you have success in your life. I want your confidence through the roof. But I'm giving you the blueprint, bro. It makes no sense to listen to what I'm saying, but you don't put in the work. Oh, the skincare routine, that ain't important. That's why women is overlooking you. That's why you're not confident. Oh, the gym, that's doing too much. I don't want to wake up an hour early so I can hit the gym. That's why you're still skinny, right? So it's all a matter of how bad that you want it. It's the little things that make the biggest difference. The next thing, and I actually been slacking on this myself, I got to start dialing back in with this, is reading 10 pages per day, right? Don't overlook reading. All throughout school, I hated reading. Like, y'all remember those AR tests, accelerated reader tests? You have to read the book, then take a test on the book. I feel like 80% of them tests simply because I was not reading, bro. Summer reading, I didn't read one full summer reading book. But as I started to get out of high school, right, during quarantine, during COVID, I started to actually read books. So what I learned was, it wasn't that I just hated reading. I just hated reading the books that we was reading at school. So if it was actually something I was interested in, I'm all for it. So I started reading philosophy books, self-improvement books, mindset books, self-help books. I started reading all these different type of books, and I started to expand my knowledge. Now, granted, back then I was reading like way more than 10 pages a day, but you gotta realize, bro, is you a man on your grind. You don't have all day to be reading all these 300-page books to the point where you're reading 3 and 4 books a month. Nah, knock it down to the point where you can just read 10 pages a day. That's it. So you can get back to the work that's more important, that's more high leverage, right? So a few books that I just recommend off the top of my head: The Way of the Superior Man, Think and Grow Rich, 48 Laws of Power, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, As a Man Thinketh. Those are just some of the books that I've read, right? But you need to be reading books that's gonna help you with your mindset, that's gonna help you understand women, that's gonna help you with building a business, right? It's gonna help you master your emotions, that's gonna help you learn about your mindset. More importantly, the Bible. I read the Bible every single day. I read one proverb a day so I can get access to God's wisdom, timeless wisdom that I can apply to any area of my life. But reading 10 pages a day is gonna expand your mind. It's gonna give you more wisdom, right? It's gonna make you smarter. It's gonna help you see the world in a different lens. It's gonna give you more things to talk about when you're having conversations with people. It's gonna make you more knowledgeable in certain areas. But it's also just gonna give you a unique skill set if you apply the knowledge. Because the thing about me, I used to read. Oh, I'm ready for the next book. I'm ready for the next book. But I never took any action on the things that I was reading, and that's what held me back. So more importantly, it's like when you are reading books, make sure that you are taking notes. This is why I say only read 5 to 10 pages a day so that you can take notes on the things that you're reading. And each day you can read some of the notes, read some of the notes, read some of the notes. I guarantee it's gonna help with your confidence because you're gonna be more knowledgeable. You're gonna feel like you know more things. You're gonna feel like you have certain access to wisdom, certain blueprints to be able to take action based upon what you learn. Because you should always be reading things that you are interested in. So once you feel like you unlock the new cheat code in whatever area of your life, once you put that into practice, it's going to boost your confidence up, right? Because you have to understand that it's all about your mindset. Confidence always comes down to how you view yourself. So if you feel like you're inadequate in certain fields of life, read books on those areas so you can master it. And mastery comes through putting it into practice, putting the things that you read into practice every single day, not reading it. Don't make the mistake of thinking that just because you read some in the book or watch some in the video that you learned it. No, you have to do it over and over and over and over again to show that you've actually learned it. Number 4, this is very important. Think less, do more. You may be asking, Quay, what does this have to do with being confident? Thinking less and doing more. You just told me to read 5 to 10 pages a day. I'm gonna be thinking, I'm gonna be reading these notes. I'm gonna be thinking. Listen, one of my biggest setbacks was overthinking, being a perfectionist, right? I used to tell you that, I just told you that I used to read. I used to consume motivational content all day, every day. But what type of action was I taking? I was spending more time reading books. I was spending more time watching motivational content than I was actually putting these things into practice. You don't need all of the knowledge, right? The smartest people in the world are not the people that make the most money, are not the most successful people. It's people who make 30 times more money than you. You are literally smarter than them, right? See, we've been programmed in school that you have to get all A's, right? You can't get a C on a test. If you get a C, you dumb. Things of that nature, right? If you fail a test, you are a failure. If you don't go to college, you are a failure. That's cap. That's propaganda, that's programming, right? Now, granted, if you want to be a lawyer, a doctor, a dentist, something like that, you have to go to school. But you probably don't want to be that. You probably want to be an entrepreneur. You want your own money. You don't have to have a degree for those things, bro. But you don't have to have all the knowledge and wisdom to be able to start taking action to make an impact in your life. Stop thinking for I need all the intricate details of this specific meal plan before I can start dialing in on my nutrition. I need the perfect workout split before I can actually start going to the gym. Or I need to know how to do every exercise before I step foot in the gym. Once again, you don't learn things by reading them or by watching them. You learn by doing, right? Just think, let's put this in terms of basketball. If you never pick up a basketball and step on the court, you're never gonna learn how to shoot. You're never gonna learn how to dribble. You're never gonna learn how to defend. Watching videos all day, watching Kobe highlights all day, right? Watching Steph shoot the ball. That's not helping your shot get better. But if you actually get 100 shots up a day from each spot on the three-point line, that's going to improve your skills. If you do dribbling drills, right? If you play for your school team or your college team, and then you play AAU, travel ball, that's what's going to improve your skills. Not overloading on all this information. Let me give you another analogy. Oh, I got to find the perfect pickup line before I go approach this girl, right? Oh, I got to wait for the perfect opportunity before I go, shoot my shot. Stop it. This is due to low confidence. You want to feel like everything is the right time before you make action, before you take action, right? You don't need to have the perfect pickup line for you to go approach a girl. If you see a girl that you're attracted to, better yet, if you see a girl giving you choosing signals, that's all you need to go make the approach. This goes back to number 1 and number 2. If your physique is not on point and you ain't looks maxing, you ain't gonna have the confidence to go up to her, regardless of how many choosing signals she giving you. So the most important thing is always just doing more. That's what gives you the most feedback. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said that when I shot my shot at her. Maybe I should have pulled up right here instead of passing the ball. Maybe I should have did this instead of doing that. Okay, I just learned because I got feedback, because I got the reps. So let me not do that again. Okay, I just did this. I sent this many DMs today. Okay, that works because I got this many responses, right? Okay, I did this in my presentation. I did this or said this in my job interview. So I know that that's going to help me get the job. That's going to help them call me back faster. The more that you can just stop thinking and just start acting, it'll boost your confidence up because you don't give yourself time to overthink. Right? You see her giving you choosing signals, make the approach. You don't have to think twice about it. You see an opportunity, just go after the opportunity. You don't have to worry about having all your eggs lined up, all your ducks in a row. Don't worry about all that, bro. Start going after what you want. Stop being scared to fail. That's the thing about it, bro. You have to fail forward. See, that's why you want to have all the knowledge. That's why you want to be a perfectionist. That's why you want to have all the information before you do something, because you're trying to avoid failure. But failure is a good thing. Failure is only a bad thing if you quit. But those who really understand that, they are trying to fail as much as possible. See, the most successful people in the world are looked at as failures, right? If you drop out of school, you're looked at as a failure. But then if you pop up with your business, now everybody is, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you did this. Oh, put me on, this, that, and the third, right? You start making content, everybody's laughing at you, nobody's supporting you. But then once you actually build a personal brand, now people is trying to hop on the bandwagon, right? But at first, they was making fun of you. At first, they wasn't supporting you, right? You can't watch videos about how to start a clothing brand all day, every day, but you never make any designs. You never make any samples, right? You never drop anything. You never market yourself. So going through the motions and actually putting in the work is what's going to build you the most confidence, because it gives you the most experience. It gives you the most feedback, right? Watching dating content all day is not going to give you the experience. I struggle with this. I thought that watching stephiscold all day, learning about female nature, learning about women, this, that, and the third, all day was going to give me the knowledge, what's going to translate to me being able to walk up to a girl and shoot my shot. Boy, was I wrong, right? Because you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't use it, it's pointless. So stop thinking as much and just start doing more things. That's what's going to give you the most confidence, bro. People who just go out there and act, people who just go out there and do. The second you get an idea, put it into action, right? That's what's going to give you the fastest results, as opposed to somebody who's thinking all day. Oh, I'm going to start next week. I'm going to do this. I'm going to shoot my shot tomorrow. I got to wait till I get a haircut to shoot my shot. Oh, I ain't got no cologne on. See, you got to already be on point. You got to stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. This is what's going to fuel you, just doing more without having to think about it. And lastly, this ties together into the last one. The fifth thing, the most important thing that's going to boost your confidence is not caring. You have to not care what anybody thinks about what you're doing, about what anybody has to say about who you are as a man. Because when you truly confident in yourself, bro, this is probably going to be the first one that you check off. And I honestly felt like I really just stopped caring, bro, when I got to college. I'm going to be real. Especially once I realized that I didn't want to be there. Right? Because granted, for the wrong reasons, I stopped caring, because I wasn't going to class. I was just smoking all day. You know what I'm saying? Once you get to college, like, it's literally no rules. Nobody's forcing you to get up in the morning. Nobody's forcing you to go to class. Nobody's forcing you to do anything. You can do whatever you want to do, right? Granted, you're going to flunk out if you follow that path. But what I'm trying to tell you is I discovered myself when I was in college. I realized that, okay, my mama, she wants me to be here. This would be making her proud, but this is not what I want to do. Right? So I have to figure out what I want to do for myself. And once I figured that out, it was on and popping, because I believed in myself. I didn't care what anybody else had to say. When I first started making content, I didn't need anybody else's support. I didn't need anybody else's approval for me to pull my phone out and start recording content, right? When I started posting, videos on Instagram and on TikTok and on YouTube, I didn't care what anybody else was talking about. I wasn't looking for people's validation, right? I was documenting my journey. Still to this day, I don't care what anybody has to say about anything that I'm doing, because I'm not doing it for them, right? Because it doesn't make me any difference. I don't care about anybody. I don't care about any negativity, because negativity always comes from below you, right? But when you listening to that noise, it's going to always hold you back. When you care what everybody else think, more importantly, scratch everything I just said. You care too much about what a woman got to say, right? You care too much about trying to make a woman love you, trying to make a woman treat you right. But you are a simp. You are a nice guy. You are broke. You are out of shape. You are unattractive. But you care more about her than you caring about your purpose. I should have led with that. Forget me dropping out of college and discovering my purpose. You don't know what your purpose is. So you may have to do some soul searching to figure out what you truly want to do while you are here on this planet. What type of impact do you want to make? Dial into your specific story, what you have been through, what you have accomplished, what you are good and naturally gifted at. Hone into that. How can you monetize that? What are you naturally just more inclined to, more interested in? How can you monetize that? But when you worried about the girl who don't like you, trying to get her to act right, you gonna hold yourself back. You gotta not care, bro. The women, bro, this is what you gotta understand about a woman. The less that you care, if she likes you, the less that you care, the less attention you give her, the less time that you give her, the more she's going to chase you because she wants it from you. But if you just give it away, oh, I care what she thinks, so I'm not gonna say this. I care what she has to say, so I'm gonna make sure that I don't say the wrong thing. Or I don't wanna say or do this around her because I care what she thinks, I care what she gonna say. You're walking on eggshells. You're a full grown man, bro. Grab your nuts, do what you wanna do. Stop caring. Oh, I don't wanna post this content because they may say something negative. I don't care about no comments, bro. I don't care about no comments. Right? I don't care about no type of negativity. I don't listen to that. I don't feed into that. The negative comments is not paying the bills, right? The people leaving those comments, 9 times out of 10, they don't have profile pictures. They don't have any subscribers. They don't have any followers. They're not showing their face. I don't care. You got to realize that this is your life. You can't let somebody else live your life for you, bro. You definitely can't let a woman control you because you're trying to get her to act right. You're trying to get her to stay in your life. You're trying to prove to her that, you know what I'm saying, that you her best option. Why are you trying to prove yourself? You shouldn't be trying to prove yourself to nobody. All your actions will speak for themselves, bro. So once I really implemented not caring what nobody else thought in every area of my life, that's when I seen the most growth because there was no barrier. I wasn't holding back anymore. I was just being myself, right? When I go around people, I'm not trying to fit in with the crowd. I'm just being myself because I don't care what nobody else think. I don't care what nobody else got to say. I'm gonna just be honest. And it's not like you're being arrogant or you being an a-hole. It's not even about that, bro. It's just about that you firm in who you are. You confident and secure in yourself. You secure in your masculinity. You secure in who you are as a man. You secure in your looks, right? You secure in how your voice sound. When I started making content, bro, I was like, what the heck? My voice sound like that? But I don't care right now, right? Like before I was in a relationship, I didn't care if a girl ghosted me or stopped talking to me or wasn't trying to follow my program or anything like that. I didn't care about none of that, bro. So you got to figure out what things do you care too much about? What people do you care too much about their opinions? What women do you care too much about making them happy when they ain't treating you right? You got to get down to the nitty gritty of these things and realize that if you don't make a change in those areas, you are cooked, right? But these are just some of the 5 things that I've implemented that have boosted my confidence tremendously. And you can't have one without the other. You have to make sure that every single box is checked off. All 5 of these areas, I guarantee you will become an unstoppable man internally and externally if you dial in each one of these things, right? Like you can't have a physique without the skincare routine. You can't think less and do more if you're still caring about what other people are talking about, right? You're not gonna expand your knowledge if you're not reading your books. So at the end of the day, you have to make sure that 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is all the way checked off for you to become the most confident version of yourself. Because it's not just about the looks, but it's also about the mindset. So if you want to take your life to the next level, mentally, physically, right? You want to just upgrade your entire lifestyle. You want to maximize your dating options as well and attract the type of women that you truly desire. Book a one-on-one call down below to see if we're a good fit to apply for my one-on-one coaching. If you are a good fit, we will hit the ball rolling and we're gonna put this work in. It's gonna be a lifelong journey, bro. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.